everybody, and welcome back to another video from HSTV. And in today's video, as you can see by the video title, this is a day in the life of a 5th year medical student on psychiatry placement. So if you're new to the channel and you don't know who I am, my name is Heen Shamaz. I'm now a 5th year medical student here at the University of Edinburgh. And guys, I have a lot to tell you about psychiatry. This has been a very interesting block, to say the least. Right now, I've just made it to the Royal Edinburgh Hospital, which is different to the Royal Infirmary, by the way, so don't get confused. This is a special psychiatric hospital here in Edinburgh. So yeah, let's go. It's almost 9 AM, so gotta get there for the ward round, right? And I will fill you guys in on everything that's been happening.
Later.
Right guys, so I feel like I've not had a proper chance to catch up. I've just been showing you like B-roll of things. Anyways, this morning I had a really nice ward round with the consultant. It's strange because the psychiatric ward rounds, they're not like your traditional ward rounds. So rather than going to see each patient, the patients actually come to see us in like interview rooms. So that's how you do the ward round. And then after that, I actually went over a cognitive assessment that I did. So I just presented the findings of that to the consultant. It's actually one of my sign-offs as well. So this was an ACE3 assessment that I did with a patient who had schizophrenia, but he was expressing concerns about his memory and like being more forgetful, forgetting his bank details, passwords on his phone, that sort of thing. So we thought we'd address it, even though there are limitations to doing an ACE examination. As you'll know if you've done one before, it's very easy to fake your memory. But surprisingly, this patient did really well. I thought he was really honest about things, and he got a really good score on it as well. So anyway, I was presenting that to the consultant and we went over it, talked about management and the implications of the results, documented it all on our online note system, and then had lunch. Just came off a meeting. So this meeting is to do with EMS 300. So this is a project which is celebrating 300 years of Edinburgh Medical School. So if you guys didn't know, in 2026, Edinburgh Medical School is turning 300 years old, and I'm actually on the main committee looking at the student experience side of things. So it's great, lots of really exciting projects happening, and some of it's a bit top secret, so I'm not allowed to tell you. But yeah, I'm going to be filming a documentary, so it's very exciting and really cool. But also one of the reasons why my YouTube schedule has been all over the place. So thank you so much for bearing with me on that. Okay, so I've just come into the prayer room just now, so you can see. It's good to see that there's a prayer room basically at every hospital you're placed at in Edinburgh. At least I've never had an issue finding a place to pray. So I'm going to pray, and then at 3 o'clock I've got an OSCE workshop, so that should hopefully be useful.
2 hours later.
All right, so that is me done for the day. I think the time right now is, what is the time? 4:39. So I actually finished a little bit later than usual. Most of my psychiatry block I've finished at kind of early afternoon, around 1 or 2 to be honest. So just a few kind of general points about psychiatry placement, and I think this is, you don't have to be a medical student to listen on this. I think this is just super interesting for anybody, because these are things that I had in my head before going into a psychiatry placement. The first thing is that psychiatry is not what you normally would think of psychiatry to be. So it's not really insane mad people all the time, right? Psychiatry really looks at people from all age groups, so starting all the way in childhood up to older adults. So in childhood you're looking for things like ADHD, autism, all these kind of neurodivergence type problems. Then as people become young adults into their 20s and their 30s, often you get things like bipolar disorders and schizophrenia, personality disorders, these sorts of things coming out. And It's interesting because although there is a strong genetic predisposition, so if you have mental health conditions that run in your family, you are more likely to develop mental health conditions. Often it is actually an environmental trigger that sets things off. And normally that environmental trigger is a stressful trigger. And that could be most of the time like life transition changes. So whether you're moving school, going to university, getting married, having children, these are the sorts of stressful life transition points that can often trigger mental health conditions to start. So that is the first thing. Mental health is not only a disease of a certain group of people. This is something that's rooted in society anywhere. And it's only when you do a psychiatry placement that you realize, older adults with dementia, their mental health problems are just as important as a child with autism. So it's been really insightful to see that from all age groups. Something else which I feel I had a bit of a misconception about before I came into psychiatry is the concept of ECT. ECT stands for electroconvulsive therapy. It's what you've seen in TV shows where they kind of electrocute the brain. They give a block in the patient's mouth and they electrocute and induce this kind of seizure, and it looks very disturbing and painful and not very safe. So coming into psychiatry, I was a bit skeptical of all of that, but actually I have seen ECT for myself now. I've seen the whole procedure. I've spoken to ECT consultants, and it's a very safe and effective procedure that's performed in the UK very commonly. I can talk you through it. It's actually quite simple. It's done under general anaesthetic, actually. So the patient is not even fully aware that that's happening. So they're under GA, they're asleep, anaesthetics, they monitor them. A short shock is delivered to the brain. It induces a seizure that lasts only for a few seconds before it self-terminates, and then the patient's into recovery and they wake up within the next 10 minutes or so, and within the hour they're actually back up on their feet and ready to go back to the ward. Or some of them, they come in for multiple sessions and they come in as an outpatient. So ECT, contrary to common belief, is actually quite safe. It's quite effective, especially for patients who have very severe depression. So by no means is it a first-line treatment. It's not given to every patient who has a psychiatric illness, but certainly for people who have something we call catatonia, so this presentation of very severe depression that's causing withdrawal, that's causing them to not eat and drink, that is a situation where we would give ECT as an emergency, we need to save your life procedure. So ECT certainly has its benefits.